do want to say congratulations. Really proud of what those guys have done. I went out there and reminded me of home. I went out to the game on, what was it, Friday or Saturday? Friday. And when I went out there and saw an orange ball and snow about 4 inches deep, I felt so good. I sat there and watched every goal and enjoyed myself. So hats off to you, Damon, and your team, and good luck to you as you move into the Sweet 16, right? And go get Georgetown, just for Mex's sake. As far as our game goes, you know, I thought we went into the game with 3 or 4 goals, improved defensively, not foul the jump shooter, not turn the ball over, and get a little better ball movement. And I thought at times we accomplished all of them. It was a shame at the end there. We had 2 turnovers, and all of a sudden it was 7 or 8. A couple foolish ones at the end, but for the most part, we played pretty good on that. I thought the only negative of the night to me was the number of wide open threes we missed the first half. And I told my guys I thought we were shooting them from 3-4 feet behind the 3-point line, and once we started getting up to that line and getting a few inside out passes, I thought we knocked down some big threes in the second half. You know, turnovers, assists, 25 assists on 37 baskets is pretty good. But we're not kidding anybody. That team not only struggles, although their post player played really well at North Carolina, but they just came from Carolina on Friday, flew in here. So, you know, I thought for Steve, that was a tough, it's almost as tough as the gauntlet we're going to go through here in the next 6 games. But wanted to accomplish some things, wanted to try Gabe a little bit more, wanted to get Aaron some minutes, wanted to see what our freshmen could do. And if you ask me, our freshmen aren't ready yet. And so what does that mean with our playing group and what we do in the next, because there's not one game that you're going to breathe in the next 6. And that is going to be the hardest thing that we have to deal with as a coaching staff. But it's also exciting to look at, you know, UCLA and either Carolina and Texas, and then Louisville on the road, and then I think it's Rutgers on the road, and Iowa at home, and then on the road to Florida. So that's interesting scheduling. And Collis did it before he left, and it's my own one, but I really think we finished better tonight, and I feel a little better about where we're at. So, questions, I'll take.
Tom. Nick Ward didn't look at all inhibited by the ankle or anything like that. There were also, I know this wasn't the greatest component, but there are things he did tonight. There was one moment where he went into a double team, spun away from it, shot over his right shoulder. Little things that you see. Are you seeing things that you didn't see before?
I told you, remember after the Kansas game, I said, you know, I'm really pleased with Nick. And I think the great news is when I'm not, I say it. You know, I'm pretty transparent about that. And when I am, I say it. And, you know, I was shocked at the Kansas game just because he had been so good. And he just kind of tried to do too much at once, you know. But in practices, all spring, summer, and fall, Nick has been better. He's, the ankle, I think, in all honesty, it was when it happened, and you watch it on film, it was the normal ankle tweak. But I think when you've never been really injured, you get scared. And by the next day, I think he could have played. Now, I held him out, and I was going to hold him out of this game, to be fair about it. And he practiced good the next 2 days. So I knew he was that, and I knew he's is improving the right-hand jump hook. He's not getting as frustrated with the double teams. He's getting back where that little quick jump hook of his is getting lethal. He's worked so hard on his free throws, and then he shot a little different the first 2, and then he straightened that out and made some free throws. So, yeah, I think Nick's making some progress. We just, you know, Kenny has been playing so good, and all of a sudden Kenny doesn't score a point, you know. So we got, you know, part of it is our rotation, part of it is, you know, when you play teams like this, you're trying to get a view of some different people. But Nick has been sensational. He really has. He's even guarding those ball screens you know, a lot better. We got hurt a little bit because he got dragged out a couple times tonight, but, you know, it'll be bigger teams now coming up, that's for sure.
Tom, you've talked about your stars needing to understand in games like this, they need to get more stats because they're not going to get them in Big Ten action. Nick obviously missed a lot of the last game. Did you have that conversation with Nick? Because we all know what his future and his ceiling is.
I did, and you know what he did? He listened to me on the offensive end, and on the rebounding end, he kind of said, hell with coach. But no, he, you know, I did talk to my guys. I said, you got to figure out how to play the game, not play the team. And playing the game is what really I always wanted to do. And so I thought in general, you know, we make a couple of those shots early, I think we could have got out to a lead. And that's what happens when you don't. You're upset, they're upset, the other team's excited. But I thought we handled it pretty well, and I thought Nick did. I thought Cassius, you know, after missing a couple easy shots, he made some great ones. And just got to get now, got to get Josh, who had a better second half, and McQuaid, who, you know, I don't know, what did he end up with? Any of you guys, since you guys always write so many negative things, is anybody going to attack these things?
They suck.
Huh? There you go. My kind of guy right there. So I can't even see what McQuaid had. What did he have?
8, 2, and 5.
8, 2, and 5. You know, not bad, but I think Cueto's a little better, and I think Kenny's got to do a little more. But we subbed a lot of guys too, you know, and that was part of it.
Second question, the way you schedule, obviously the last 3 games weren't at Kansas, but you did start with a Kansas. How much of an advantage is it? You're going to go against some teams that haven't played, maybe like you have, and you're going to be getting they're going to be getting punched in the face for the first time when you've already been it a few times.
I hope we're doing the punching. You know, the other really important game we played was Gonzaga.
Right.
You know, that really helped us. I'm not sure that, you know, that game, they might have been, you know, they were really good. And so, you know, I thought Florida Gulf Coast was pretty good. You know, the last 2 games weren't as good, but everybody else is doing that too, as you just said. And I think at least we have a base to go back to and look at. But we're going to have to play a lot better. We're going to have to continually move the ball a little better. I did think our defense was better tonight in taking away what we wanted to take away.
Tom, Matt from the Detroit News. What has Hoiberg brought to the program these last couple of years, and what, how would you describe how your feelings are in a moment?
You know, I'd like you to call Jaron Jackson and ask him what he thinks of Hoiberg. You know, those guys, Tom, Jaron, Miles, you know, he's a coach's son. He had a scholarship to play golf. He wanted to come here, and you know, I don't know if it's because of Jimmy Boylan. I don't know what it was, but they came up here and kind of, I think, fell in love with the place. And he's an unbelievable kid. You know, he's a phenomenal student. He's tougher than nails. I mean, he's not as big. You know, I don't know what happened to his size. You know, his dad's got good size. His mom's got good size. I think the good Lord didn't shine down on him in that respect. But that's probably why I like him too. Is somebody I can talk to. You know, try talking to Marcus when you're in the huddle. You know, it's hard to get up there where the air is thin. So I love Jack. I think our whole team loves Jack. He's been a good scout player. You know, early in the year I said if we had to play him, I mean, I played point guards that didn't run things like Jack does, and I just have the utmost respect, appreciation. But what's really cool is a lot of those other guys do too. And I bet you there's not a player in our team that doesn't think the world of them. But those superstars that we had, and it wasn't because they were hoping his dad would draft them. It was genuine, you know. He's just a tough, good kid, and I'm hoping he's around for a long time.
Coach, after caliber of opponent aside, after those first 2 games, you have 92 and 82. What's changed the most with the defense?
Well, I mean, some of it's the competition. I'm not going to lie to you, but I think some of it is us. You know, I think Cash just played a lot better today against quicker guys, and I thought we did a better job of kind of shrinking the court and not giving up threes. Now, this wasn't a great 3-point shooting team, but I thought that helped, and I just thought we got a little sloppy in those games, and we really spent a lot of time on it. We spent a lot of time talking about it. It's not very often that people were shooting what they were shooting against us after a couple games, and to their players' credit, to the players' credit, and my staff, I think we worked on some things harder. We talked about defending without fouling. We talked about not giving up those straight line drives. We talked about not letting it go in the post so easy. We did a better job, but you know, we're gonna figure out where we are here, and there's gonna be no room to breathe. I mean, it's gonna be one after another, after another, after another, and are we ready for that yet? Probably not, but hard to say if those teams are too, so kind of anxious to see how it plays out.
Along those same lines, with Marcus Bigham, you brought him in really early, a couple stints the first half. Are you doing that basically just searching for things, or are you sending a message to Aaron Henry at all, or anything like that, or is it?
No, with Aaron Henry, I told him before the game, you know, I'm going to give Gabe a chance first today. You know, Aaron's got a chance to be, those two guys got a chance to be special. They just, you know, they remind me so much of Morris. You know, somebody's got to light a fire under them, and I guess that's a job I get to do, and I'm more than happy to do that. But in Marcus, we're just trying to get him some minutes to see if he can play against different kinds of people, and it's hard, you know. I mean, it's hard for any freshman to play. It's hard for freshmen that aren't, you know, the elite of the elite to play. I say we all get screwed up by Kentucky and Duke just because those are some of the best freshmen, or if you're a top 10 or 12 freshman, it's different than being a top 50 or 100 freshman. And but at the same time, I really like where all of them are going. I just, you know, want to speed the process up, and when you have a schedule of guards, it's hard to do that.
Just one, Courtney Alexander, their best player, does the underhand free throws, and I'm wondering if, as you've had players throughout the years that have struggled with free throw shooting at times, if that's ever been suggested. I know it's something most players are embarrassed to even try. That's ever been a way you've...
Well, you know, when I was at the Hall of Fame, Rick Barry, I spent some time with Rick Barry, and you know, he was just telling me, I was on the phone with him a couple weeks ago, and he was telling me about, you know, one of his sons that's still doing it. The youngest one is still doing it, and I said, sometime maybe I got to learn. But if you watch Nick tonight, his free throw, even when he missed, it really looks good. He's gotten his arm in. He's really changed his shot. Really proud of him for that. And Xavier is shooting better. If those two guys shoot it well, the rest of the team is a pretty good free throw shooting team. You know, I thought Gabe tonight shot it flat. I don't know where that came from, but I never really thought of it. To me, it's almost, I don't know, I didn't want to give into it, but hey, let me tell you something. If they can shoot it behind their back and it goes in, I'm game, man. I'm game for it.
Tom, you touched on the defense being better over the past couple games. What have you kind of seen has been the difference?
Well, I think we put a little more into it. I think as a staff, so I guess we got to take blame for, you know, why it wasn't. But I think it starts with the head of the snake, you know, and I think Cassius knows that he's got to get better at it. And I thought he did a better job. And no matter what kind of team they are, you know, they had some quick guards, and those guards could penetrate. So I thought Cassius did a really good job of not only running our team, getting people's shots. I don't know how many did he get, 12, and you know, actually missed the free throw. That's illegal, so I'll have to talk to him about that. But you know, what I really feel bad about is he's getting 6 assists, 3 assists, and I think he's throwing passes to get 10 and 12 assists. And that's what's great about a team sport, is everybody's got to do their part to make the other guy look better. When he cashes his deals, he's got to lead the country in assists. The only way you do that if guys are making shots, because they don't. The NCAA won't let you throw it to yourself and count it as an assist. So you know, that's the only way we can do it. Anything else?
Steve, right here.
Yes.
Tom, I was wondering, just like you said, the caliber opponent lets you experiment. You got to see all these different guys in there just before, without having seen the film, obviously. Was there anything that stuck out to you sort of immediately, like that really worked, that some that we haven't tried or seen yet when you are experimenting like that?
You know, I mean, I did think Gabe and Aaron had their moments, you know. it looked a little jittery with the ball. That bothered me in one way. I thought we got the ball into Nick a little bit better tonight. I was pleased that when we did get in and they doubled him, he kicked it out a couple times pretty good. But I think we're going to see a lot more double teams and things like that, which we should be a good enough shooting team to take care of that, you know. I think there was more, I looked at more bad things, because I always do, but if we made shots early, and I mean good, open shots, it's going to be interesting to watch the film and chart those, but then I think I would have really felt good about the night, because we didn't turn it over, we guarded pretty well. But you got to be able to shoot the ball too, especially when we know and everybody else knows that somebody's going to put a lot of emphasis on Nick. And that's good, because he is more capable of passing it out and doing better things tonight. So I like some things we did, but I think the consistency, you know, can we get Kenny to play well at the same time we get Nick to play well at the same time? Xavier is going to play well, because he's going to do his job. He's going to rebound and defend, and I'd like him to score a little bit more, but he's going to do his job. Kenny's got to do his. He had a couple turnovers, and he's been playing so well. I think he was leading the conference in assist to turnover ratio, 11-1, and I'd like to see more of that.
Tom, you mentioned that Bingham learned some things here in the early going through the course of the season in terms of getting banged around inside a little bit, but tonight he was on the perimeter playing the 4, and they drove him a few times. His lateral movement on defense, what about that?
Yeah, a little bit of a concern, but that's why we play more or less a gap defense. You know, it shouldn't. Some of those freshmen just don't understand the concept yet. I thought there were times that Josh and Cueto and Cassius, man, they had a wall up there, you know, and that would help a guy like Xavier. But you're right, he's got to do a little better job of that, but most of the time now, he'll be playing against bigger guys too, sure. And he won't be playing against a 6'6" guy. I mean, that number 22 was, I'm going to tell you something now, he's one of the better athletes we'll play against. He really is. I watched him on film. He drove a lot of people, so he drove us a little bit.
And Bingham got tested with some of that a little bit.
He did.
He didn't look too bad.
He didn't look bad, you know. I think the problem's going to be with Bingham now. It won't be the quickness thing. It'll be the physical part now.
Right.
You know, he'll play against a lot more physical guys than he played against tonight. But you know what you saw in him, length matters, because he got driven and then all of a sudden he's blocking a shot. So length does matter. All right, guys. Thank you.